This topic talks about black holes and how to form the largest explosions, such as the big explosion of black holes. First, we talked in the previous video about how the attractive force formed from the cold. To clarify, more than black holes swallow lumps of giant stars and black cultures, their mass increases, their density increases. And this increase in density makes it as difficult to raise the temperature of the material inside at 1 degree Kelvin, where that requires enormous energy to raise the temperature of the star, and I find a degree assigned by this law to specific heat laws. But the question that will arouse the right of how this black hole absorbs stars possessing enough energy is sufficient, and the black hole is at a high temperature, while the real facts prove that the hole's black is cold. To answer this question, it is necessary to be certain of the fact that this enormous heat and energy of the stars absorbed by the black holes is matched by huge masses of stars absorbed inside the black holes. These blocks work to increase the density that leads to a decrease in temperature again for the black holes. That is, in exchange for every increase in the black hole's temperature, as a result of the absorption of stars with a huge temperature, it occurs like a decrease in the temperature of black holes due to the increase in density to absorb the black hole of the massive masses of stars. We know that the density is inversely proportional to the temperature of the black hole as a result of the absorption of the temperature of the stars at a time when the temperature decreases. Black hole as a result of absorbing the masses of stars, which leads to increase it as a black hole culture? The answer is that the stars, although they are absorbed, are not able to heat the black holes, and they increase the gravitational acceleration of black holes. As a result of the increase in the coolness that grows automatically after the absorption of the star, that there is a period of time between the absorption of another star and star. And in this period the black hole reaches a stage of the cold, the immense, that marries and enlarges the amount of the Earth's gravitational acceleration wheel. Because it means the density is inversely proportional to the temperature in kelvins, and from all of that, and the temperature is constantly decreased until the gravity reaches an enormous value that makes the size of the black hole very small, and the size of the black hole remains less due to its massive gravity until it is no longer in size or in the universe surrounding it. But when there is no volume and the temperature reaches it to 0 Kelvin, which happens is a law in nature, and if there is a huge gravity and 0 volume, then what happens is a high temperature again, Because if we notice that the volume reached zero, the availability of gravity at that point, it makes it possible for the material to form again in mathematical terms, and we will discuss this. We note that when the volume reaches zero, there is a mathematical equation that changes, that is, from the volume compensation by zero in the density equation, the density is equal to the negative of the mass at that time, which means that the density is inversely proportional to the mass and the density is proportional to the temperature with this temperature. And this is in the case that the volume is equal to zero, and means that the volume is equal to zero is that the density is equal to no end, because the original law says that the density equals the rate of change of the mass in relation to the volume, and the meaning that the density is infinite and it is directly proportional to the temperature at the size is equal to zero is that the heat is equal to no end at that point. And from here the big dagger forms once other from scratch of zero black holes. If the final law of density and mass after lack of volume is that density equals negative mass,